In this presentation, I am going to explain the mode of citation which every researcher has to adopt. It's only through preparing one's research work according to these uniform norms of citation he can be free from being accused of plagiarism. Further, these norms of citation impart reliability and trustworthiness to the research work. The research can be considered as a scientific work or research. No research can be conducted in a vacuum, whether it is doctrinal or non-doctrinal. Every researcher has to collect, analyze, and interpret data from different sources. Through these norms of citation, research will acknowledge the sources of data borrowed from other research works. It is highly unethical to present ideas of other researchers without due acknowledgement. This presentation is actually prepared keeping mainly the PG students of law in view. However, the norms which are explained here are equally applicable even to researchers from other fields also. Now, let us know actually what is citation. It is explained that citation is the way writer tells his readers that certain material in his work came from another source. It also gives his readers the information necessary to find out that source again. And every researcher has the task of conducting his research without being accused of plagiarism. The safest way to protect himself from such accusation is giving credit to the original author by citing the sources from which the material or ideas or information that has been accessed. Let us now examine specifically the need for citation. The first need is whenever one borrows words or ideas, he needs to acknowledge their source, and the following situations require such a citation. Firstly, whenever one uses quotes or quotations from other works. Secondly, whenever one paraphrases long passages may be paraphrased in his research work. And this I have already told you, whenever one idea uses an idea that someone else has already expressed, then it needs to be cited. That is, the source has to be denoted. And whenever a researcher makes specific reference to the work of another, this also I have explained. Now, what are the various modes of citation? Let us know what are the modes. There are three modes of citation: author date system, or which is also known as in-text citation; number date system or number system; and lastly the superscript system. In author date system, it is actually a simple form of citation. In this mode of citation, the author's last name and the year of publication should be written in brackets wherever another source has contributed to his work. As shown here, Upendra Bakshi, we take only the last name, that is Bakshi, and the year in which the book was published. And in this mode of citation, a reference list or bibliography is given at the end, outlining all of the sources directly cited in the work. The second method of reference is number system. In this number system, only a number is given within brackets and it corresponds with an authority which is listed in the bibliography with a similar number. Next comes superscript system, which is actually used in most of the research works, and especially in the field of legal research. This is the authorized method of reference known as superscript system. In this method, within the text, a reference number is given in the text and it corresponds to a bibliographic entry given as a footnote or endnote. As a footnote, the entry is given at the bottom of the page, and the number in the text is raised half space above at the point of reference. In the superscript system, notes are used for various purposes. For example, a note may be used to make a reference to a original source or to denote a source. Where any material is taken or data is taken from other sources, to denote such a source, an index number is provided, which is half space raised at the point of reference. This number corresponds with the citation given in the footnote or endnote with the same number. In this method, reference is not made directly to the bibliography given at the end of the thesis. Next use of a footnote or an endnote is to validate a point. Here it is an acknowledged fact that a note may be used to validate a point which the researcher makes out in his thesis. That is, when a researcher offers a finding based on his analysis of data, the original source should be given as a footnote or endnote to provide actually support for his findings, so that any person who goes through the research work could believe in that, and if he has any doubt, he can go to the original source and find out whether what is stated in the thesis is right or not. Then secondly, notes may also be used to explain, where it is called as explanatory note, where explaining something in the text of the thesis is actually not good from the point of proper drafting. Then explanation may be given as a footnote, and an index number may be given in the main text, which actually corresponds to the similarly numbered footnote. Here, when for example a Latin maxim is used in the text, or a case is referred, or a theory is mentioned, they may be explained in detail in the footnote or endnote. The index number in the text may make reference to such a explanatory note or notes. Next, the footnote or endnote may be used to make cross reference. Here cross reference means reference to an earlier discussion or reference to a subsequent discussion in the future chapters or in the future pages. Normally, to make a cross reference, certain Latin words are used. They are ibit, supra, and others. That is one. And where these Latin words could be used, I have explained in this presentation in my future slides. And lastly, a footnote may be used to acknowledge a quotation, where a paragraph or a passage is actually borrowed from others' work, some others' work, and it is reproduced in verbatim in the thesis, the researcher needs to acknowledge the source. And the paragraph or passage which he has borrowed and which he reproduces in verbatim may be short or long. If according to the norm of a citation, if the quotation is a longer one, a lengthier one, for example, if it consists of 50 or more words, then that paragraph or the quotation should be set apart by 3 spaces from the text, and the lines within the quotation should be single spaced, and it should be indented on both sides without quotation marks. The index number should appear at the end of after the quote. But whereas short quotations need not be set apart from the text, such short quotations run in the text and they are to be given within a inverted comma with the corresponding index number. In a superscript system, references are made to various sources. The reference may be made to a book as a whole, or it may be made to a portion or a page of a book, or reference may be made to an article in a book and or an article in a journal, or the reference may be to a case decided by the court, or it may be made to an article or news clip in a newspaper. Reference may be made to reports. Reference may also be made to unpublished thesis. That means information or data may be collected from these various types of sources, and accordingly reference may be made in the form of footnote or endnote. Lastly, reference may also be made to information in a website where the website URL is given, so that the reader can independently consult those websites and make a reference to the material used in the research. As I have already told you, certain Latin terms are used to make cross-reference in this superscript system. The frequently used Latin term is ibid or id, which is the shorter form of ibidem, which means same work. Where a researcher makes a reference to a work and subsequently again he makes a reference to the same source, then ibid is used. So when a reference is made to an immediately preceding authority, there ibid is used. See, when a work is referred several times, the bibliographical details should be given only once at its first reference, but in its subsequent references, these Latin terms like ibid or supra are to be used. Ibid is used when a reference is made to an immediately preceding authority, and I have actually given an example for this. When you go through that example, it becomes clear as to when ibid is to be used. Other Latin term which is used is sic. Normally, in a quotation which the researcher has used in his research work, there may be some grammatical error or errors. To indicate the error which actually existed in the original draft itself, he can use the term sic just after that erroneous term, and that has to be provided within square brackets. But that error should not be corrected and it should be reproduced as it is. Another abbreviation, Latin abbreviation used is CF, means confer. Confer means compare. So this abbreviation is used where the researcher wants to draw the attention of the reader to an opinion which is actually in opposition to the opinion which he has actually cited in his work. So to make a comparison between these two contrasting views, or to tell the reader that there exists an opposite viewpoint elsewhere. So that source where opposite point of view exists may be referred by using the abbreviation CF. Another frequently used Latin term is supra. Supra means above. When reference is made to a previously fully cited authority but not immediately above, then supra is used. For example, when Durga Das Basu's book Advanced Law is referred for the first time, then researcher has to give the full details of the book called bibliographic details, and note is known as bibliographic note. And subsequently, if the same work is again referred, then he should not repeat these details. Instead, he should use EBIT. And afterwards, if he refers to various other sources, and at a later stage he again refers to the book by Durga Das Basu, which he has referred at the first instance, here also he should not repeat all the details. Instead, he should use a supra. So author's name, supra, note number 1, and the page that actually should be given. So how citation is made to books? The book may be by a single author or by several authors, 2 or more authors. So here in the footnote, the author's name should be written in the normal order, that is author's first name and followed by last name, title of the book, that should be in italics, then place of publication within brackets, followed by publisher and year, close of brackets, and the page number. Then see the example is given here, MP Jain, the title of the book is Indian Constitutional Law, that is in italics, then followed by the place of publication, then the name of the publisher, year of publication, and page number. So now reference to a book by 2 authors. Same pattern, MP Jain and SN Jain are the authors, title, place, publisher, and the year of publication. Where the work is by multiple authors, that is where the work is by more than 2. Here also name of the first 2 authors is written in the normal order, title of the book followed by place of publication, publisher, if there is any edition number, edition, year of publication, that is we are within brackets. So here Jerry L. Masha, Richard A. Merrill are the first 2 authors and others et al. Then the title of the book, American Public Law System, Cases and Materials, and the details, the other details, place and publisher. Now, mode of citation for articles. Citation of an edited book. How it is done? Here, name of the editor, title of the book, and place of publication. So, same pattern. Rajiv Dhawan and followed by ED within brackets, title of the book, judges and judicial power, place and name of the publisher, year and page number. Now let us know article in an edited book, how it is referred. In this kind of reference, name of the author of the article appears first, followed by title of the article, then name of the editor, where last name comes first and first name of the editor actually comes next, and it is followed by editorial reference, then within brackets the place of publication, publisher, year of publication, page number. So example is given below. It's an article or a chapter by Upendra Bakshi titled Taking Suffering Seriously, Social Action Litigation in the Supreme Court of India. This article has appeared in a book edited by Rajiv Dhawan, here Dhawan Rajiv, title Judges and Judicial Power, published at London by Sweet and Maxwell in 1985, and the reference is to the page number. Reference may also be made to a paper published in a journal or periodical. Here, in this reference, name of the author of the article, title of the essay within inverted commas, then a volume number of journal, name of the journal in abbreviation, and page number is given. So here is the example. And citation to citation of a writer published in newspaper or periodical. Here again the name of the author, title of the article, the name of the paper, then month, date, year and page number. Reference may also be made to an editorial which has appeared in a newspaper. Here the pattern is almost the same. So the editorial, the title of the editorial within the inverted commas, then name of the newspaper and the issue date. So example is given, editorial, the title Short Circuited, which has appeared in the Times of India of 2nd August 2004. Now, how reference is made to a multi-volume work? So, where the work is published in several volumes, then the volume number should also be mentioned in the note as it is provided here. Then if it is a government publication, the name of the organization should be written. So here I have referred to a publication by United Nations. So Center on Transactional Corporations, Foreign Direct Investment, the Service Sector and International Banking, published in New York, United Nations, 87 likewise. And reference may also be made to unpublished research works which are available in the library of a university. There all these details should be given. The university where the work is available, that should be. These days websites have emerged as one of the important sources of information. These websites provide various types of information, and they may be referred. In every reference, the complete URL of the website should be given. The website address, that is URL, should be given so that any reader may independently visit the website and refer to the information. For this purpose, this is the format, that is, or the pattern that is universally accepted, that should be followed. And a reference to the date on which the site is visited has to be given, because information on the internet is very transient, and we don't know when it will be removed. And if we search for the information referred by the author on a subsequent date, it may not be there, it might have been already taken out. That's why the date must be mentioned, the date of the visit must be mentioned in the reference. In legal research, case law constitutes one of the important sources of information. So whenever researcher refers to cases decided by courts, maybe Indian court or a foreign court, then there are two ways in which the case may be referred. The name may be given in the text, or the name and citation may be given in the footnote, whereas the concerned index number may be given in the text. So where index number is only given in the text, which refers to a case law or case actually referred in the footnote, then this is the format that is followed. So the citation of the case appears like this. This is a case which is referred to, or which is referred in Supreme Court cases. It is a leading law reporter, and another leading law reporter is All India reporter, and this case is referred in the All India report, and the details of the citation, like the year, the court, and the page number of the report, they are given. And there are a number of law reports, and where a particular case is referred to any one of these law reports, then the mode of citation of the journal or the report would be given by the publisher himself, then it must be followed. So if the case title is written in the body of the research paper, then only the name of the case shall be written, as here. Then the citation would be written in the footnote as given here in the slide. Then reports, the government reports. So this is the pattern that is adopted. Friends, here I have given examples for the end note or the footnote. How in a superscript system various notes appear. The format I have given or used here is ENDNOTE format, and here, so the book that is first referred, let us say in the research work, is by Durga Das Basu, title, administrative law, and other details. Then it is followed by reference to an article by Parmanand Singh in a Jindal Global Law Review. Then the third reference is to immediate reference to Parmanand's article, which is referred immediately above. I have already explained earlier that the bibliographical details which appear this second note should not be repeated here when a subsequent reference is made. It is sufficient if the term EBITDA is used. It indicates that the reference is to the article which is referred immediately above, which is written by Paramahansa Singh with the title. Then the fourth reference note may relate to an article by Pratap Banu Mehta titled "Is a 93rd Amendment Constitutionally Tenable?", which has appeared in the Economic Times, a newspaper, on 6th June 2006, page 10. So this is how the citation is given. Then the fifth reference is to the book which is already referred, that is Durgadas Basu. And here, instead of giving all the bibliographic details of the book, we merely refer to the author's last name followed by Supra, note 1, page 60. That means above the work of Basu, which is referred above at note number 1. This is note number 1. This is how Supra is used. Here you cannot use IBID. Supra would be appropriate. Here IBID would be appropriate. Then followed by case citation. In this slide, I have given reference which is made to different sources. So it is an article by Upendra Bakshi with this title. In the book edited by Rajiv Dhawan, that is given as Dhawan Rajiv editor, title Judges and Judicial Power, and the other details. And the next reference is to a book by MP Jain and S.N. Jain titled Principles of Administrative Law and other details. And here an article by Justice V.R. Krishnayar in a newspaper, that is the Hindu of a Bangalore edition, where a reference is made to an article in a newspaper. The place of the edition should also be given, and the date of publication of the newspaper and the page on which it has appeared. Then again I have already explained how Supra is used here. Instead of giving all the details of this article by Paramahansa Singh, which is referred at number 4, and this is a case decided by the Supreme Court how reference is made. Now let us know how bibliography is provided. I have given an example here. I have already told you that bibliography is given at the end of the thesis or the book. Bibliography is nothing but a list of books, articles, reports, or various other documents which are arranged and given in alphabetical order, and this list which appears is given as a bibliography shall not be numbered. And in a bibliography, first category comes the books. The books which are referred by the researcher in the research work appear as a list in bibliography. While making reference to a book, author's name appears in a different pattern. That is, in bibliography, author's last name comes first, followed by first name, then followed by title of the book and place of publication, publisher and year. So for example, Upendra Bakshi in bibliography becomes Bakshi Upendra, title of the book and other bibliographic details. And article which appears in an edited book, actually the name of the author of the article appears first. Here also the last name of the author followed by the first name, title of the article, then name of the editor, then title of the book, then place of publication, publisher, year, etc. In this slide, I have explained how journal articles are referred. Here also, author's name appears first, where last name followed by first name, title of the article, name of the journal, issue number and year, and the citation of the journal, the pattern we have to follow, which is actually provided by the publisher himself. So this is an article by Chase Abraham, title The Role of the Judge in Public Interest Litigation, published in Harvard Law Review of 1976. Then regarding websites, I have already told you where full the URL. So there may be several websites referred or visited by the researcher. So all those websites should be given as a list with the date on which each of the websites was visited by the researcher. Then lastly, the various reports used by the researcher as basis for his analysis in the research work. So with this, I conclude this presentation. I request all the viewers to please subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon. Since this is a new YouTube channel, and I would like to continue to provide more videos in the future, it will be immensely helpful to the students who pursue especially postgraduate study of law. Thank you.